Have you ever noticed subtle changes in how your friends treat you? Maybe they suddenly seem more competitive, or conversations feel a little strange, but you can't quite put your finger on why. The truth is, a hidden rivalry may be brewing among your friends, and it has nothing to do with sports or careers. It's about you. You have become the prize in a competition that exists just beneath the surface of your everyday interactions. This silent struggle for your attention and approval shifts the dynamics of your relationships without you even realizing it. Without your knowledge, your presence has triggered something deeper within your circle, a rivalry born out of insecurity. It's not about material gain or obvious social standing, it's something far more personal. Your qualities, whether it's your calm presence, your confidence, or your success, have stirred unresolved emotions in those around you. This silent competition thrives in the background, turning even the most ordinary moments into opportunities to outshine one another. In this invisible game, you are the unconscious prize everyone is fighting for, even if they would never admit it openly. In this video, we will reveal how insecurities manifest as hidden rivalries within friendships and social circles. We'll explore why, without intending to, you may have become the trigger for these subtle conflicts. From passive-aggressive remarks to unspoken resentment, your friends may be displaying behaviors rooted in their own unresolved feelings of inadequacy. We'll also discuss how you can navigate this delicate terrain, where you are both the observer and the unintended center of conflict, and how to remain grounded despite the storm swirling around you. The competition for your attention isn't immediately obvious. Friends smile, laugh, and seem to enjoy themselves as always, but there's a tension that wasn't there before. It begins small. Someone suddenly feels the need to outdo you in conversation or subtly criticize another friend in your presence. What was once a relaxed and carefree atmosphere has shifted, and you may wonder if you're imagining it. But it's not your imagination. The dynamic is changing as each person, in their own way, seeks your validation. At its core lies an invisible rivalry. You never asked to be in this position, yet your qualities, your confidence, your calm, or even your achievements, act as a mirror in which others see their own perceived shortcomings. When someone notices traits in you that they lack, it can spark feelings of jealousy or inadequacy. Instead of confronting those insecurities within themselves, they project them outward, often onto the people closest to them, in this case, you. You become the silent trigger for a competition that plays out in subtle, sometimes destructive ways. The signs are there if you know what to look for. What used to be light-hearted teasing now carries a sharper edge, and compliments often come with hidden barbs. Friends may offer unsolicited advice or show exaggerated concern for your well-being, but their gestures carry an undertone, a desire to be seen as the one who knows you best, the one you value most. You may feel pulled in different directions as each friend tries to subtly shape your perception of them, all while maintaining the appearance of normalcy. When friends feel threatened by what you represent, whether it's success, emotional stability, or personal growth, deeply buried insecurities can be awakened. These insecurities often have little to do with you personally, but instead reflect their own inner struggles. If left unchecked, these unresolved feelings can surface in strange and harmful ways. Without realizing it, your friends may begin to harbor jealousy or resentment, not because of anything you've done, but simply because of who you are and what you symbolize in their eyes. As these insecurities rise to the surface, jealousy and rivalry can take root. What starts out harmless soon shifts the dynamic from supportive friendship to quiet competition. A friend who once celebrated your victories may now downplay them, or another may start withdrawing, unable to cope with the reminder of their own perceived flaws. Even conversations take on hidden meanings, with every word carrying unspoken weight. You find yourself at the center of an emotional storm, wondering what changed, not realizing that your mere presence has triggered these feelings in others. These emotional undercurrents, once unleashed, create a kind of invisible battleground. Each friend may feel the need to subtly prove themselves as the better or more valuable companion in your life. This craving for validation becomes the driving force behind their actions. They may never confront you directly, but through small gestures, sarcastic remarks, or quiet criticism, they make it clear that a competition is underway. And while this battle is fought in whispers and passive-aggressive behavior, the emotional toll on the friendship can be devastating. When insecurities remain unresolved, it becomes easier for people to project them onto someone else rather than face their own weaknesses. In this case, you become the easy target. Your friends may begin blaming you, either openly or subtly, for the emotions rising within them. It might be something as simple as accusing you of being distant or changed, even though in reality, their perception of you has shifted because of their own internal battles. Your ability to stay grounded and composed may be misread as arrogance or detachment. For someone wrestling with feelings of inadequacy, your calm can appear as indifference or superiority. They interpret your confidence as disinterest, and rather than confronting their own struggles, they begin to envy you for the very traits they long for themselves. This misunderstanding widens the gap between you and your friends, fueling the hidden competition further. In truth, you've done nothing wrong. You never asked for this rivalry, and you certainly never intended to make anyone feel lesser. Yet your presence, your qualities, your achievements, your calm energy, has ignited something within those around you. The frustration they feel has less to do with you and more with what they see reflected in you, their own unresolved insecurities and shortcomings. Instead of facing these inner struggles, they externalize them, making you the silent trigger for their emotional turmoil. As the rivalry intensifies, friends may begin seeking your validation more openly, though often in disguised ways. They might offer advice without being asked, try to position themselves as the wise friend, or attempt to align themselves more closely with your values. Each friend competes in their own way for your attention, hoping to prove their worth through subtle comparisons and gestures of loyalty. In their minds, winning your recognition becomes equal to affirming their own self-worth. Behind every compliment, every gesture, or every offer to help may lie a hidden motive, to stand out as the friend you value most. What was once a natural and effortless friendship now feels calculated. Every interaction seems infused with the desire to be seen and acknowledged, to rise above the others in your eyes. This hidden rivalry, fueled by their need for validation, begins to erode the authenticity of your relationships, turning once supportive bonds into battlegrounds of concealed intentions. The truth is, their struggles are with themselves, not with you. They may withdraw emotionally or begin nitpicking at your actions, convinced that you have somehow changed or lost interest. In reality, their insecurities have distorted your calm into something more threatening than it actually is. This perception of you as distant or unapproachable only deepens the divide, making it harder to maintain the closeness and trust you once shared. Over time, this distance can create a feedback loop. As they withdraw or behave differently, you may naturally become more reserved, which then reinforces their belief that you've grown detached. They interpret your composure as a lack of care for their well-being, deepening their feelings of isolation and resentment. In their minds, your calm only highlights their inner turmoil, creating a gap that feels nearly impossible to bridge. What they fail to see is that your groundedness isn't rejection, but a reflection of the personal growth they too could achieve if they confronted their insecurities. This widening gap can leave you feeling frustrated, confused, and even guilty for qualities that should be celebrated. Your calm, your emotional stability, or your success become the source of conflict, though you never intended it. As this cycle of misunderstanding and resentment continues, relationships once built on support and understanding may start to feel strained or even toxic. You may find yourself wondering what, if anything, you can do to repair these friendships, while realizing at the same time that the root of the problem lies within their own battles, not in anything you've done. Friends may also engage in subtle manipulation as they seek validation, often without realizing it themselves. Passive-aggressive behavior becomes a tool for expressing their insecurities without confronting you directly. A friend might make a sarcastic remark about your success, paired with a smile that leaves you questioning whether they're truly happy for you or quietly resentful. This passive aggression can take many forms, from seemingly harmless jokes about your choices to ambiguous compliments that feel more like criticism than praise. These behaviors allow them to vent their frustrations while maintaining the appearance of friendship. Another form of manipulation shows itself in exaggerated acts of support. A friend might go out of their way to help you in a way that feels excessive or unnecessary, only to later remind you of the sacrifices they made. These grand gestures are not always motivated by genuine care. Instead, they aim to position themselves as indispensable in your life. By doing more than required, they hope to gain your recognition and attention, placing you in a state of indebtedness. What may first appear as kindness is often an attempt to secure a higher standing in your life. Backhanded compliments are another common form of manipulation. A friend may praise you, but with a twist that undermines the compliment. For example, they might say, "You're really good at this," for someone who has never done it before, subtly downplaying your achievement while still appearing supportive. These mixed messages create confusion and make you question the sincerity of their praise, while the friend maintains a sense of superiority. Over time, such manipulation erodes the trust and authenticity that once defined the friendship, slowly poisoning the bond. As this rivalry deepens, the trust that once formed the foundation of the friendship begins to crumble. Subtle competition and manipulation create an atmosphere of suspicion and defensiveness. Instead of being a safe space to share thoughts and feelings, the friendship turns into a battlefield where every interaction is tainted with unspoken motives. The longer this behavior continues, the harder it becomes to preserve the genuine connection that once existed. You may start questioning your friend's motives, wondering if their support is truly sincere or driven by self-interest. The rivalry poisons the friendship by turning once honest interactions into calculated moves. Conversations that used to be filled with mutual support and understanding now become opportunities to outdo one another. Friends may start withholding information or telling selective truths, fearing that too much openness could give the other an advantage in this unspoken competition. This gradual erosion of trust leads to a breakdown in communication, leaving you increasingly isolated from those who once felt like your closest allies. With the erosion of friendship comes the loss of authenticity that once made it meaningful. What used to be a space for vulnerability and growth turns into a place of cautious interactions and unspoken resentment. Friends who once celebrated each other's victories now view them through the lens of competition. The collapse of trust damages not only the bond between you and your friends but also makes it nearly impossible for anyone to move forward with honesty and openness. Without this foundation, the friendship begins to break down, leaving behind only a hollow shell of what it once was. This hidden competition can eventually spiral out of control, dragging those involved into a cycle of jealousy and sabotage. What began as subtle manipulation and passive-aggressive behavior may grow into open rivalries. Friends might start undermining each other in order to gain your favor, whether by pointing out others' flaws or exaggerating their own contributions to the friendship. This constant need to prove themselves traps them in a never-ending loop of comparison and insecurity, each trying to stand out as the most valuable friend in your eyes. As the competition intensifies, it affects not just individuals but the group dynamic as a whole. Friends who once stood together in shared experiences and mutual support may now see each other as threats. Some may withdraw from the group altogether, while others may form alliances with those who share their insecurities. This shift creates a toxic environment where everyone is more focused on outshining the others than on fostering genuine connection. The longer this competition continues, the harder it becomes to return to the supportive, trusting relationships that once existed. Meanwhile, you stand at the center of this storm, often unaware of the chaos swirling around you. You never asked to be placed in this position, and you may not even realize the extent to which your friends are competing for your approval. While they are consumed by jealousy and rivalry, you remain the unknowing epicenter, simply trying to stay grounded amid rising tensions. This can leave you feeling confused and frustrated, wondering why the dynamics of your friendships have shifted so drastically. Yet, through it all, you remain untouched by the rivalry, unaware that your mere presence is what fuels it. This situation may be more than coincidence, it could represent a karmic reckoning for those involved. Karma is often seen as the energy we carry from our past actions, and in this case, the hidden rivalry among your friends may be their way of confronting unresolved issues. These individuals may have spent much of their lives avoiding their insecurities, burying feelings of inadequacy deep within. Yet your presence, your confidence, and your success have brought these unresolved emotions to the surface, forcing them to face the parts of themselves they would rather ignore. This karmic reckoning is not only about rivalry, it's about personal growth. For some of your friends, this competition may be the catalyst they need to confront their insecurities head-on. It may be the lesson they must learn, to stop comparing themselves to others and instead follow their own path. Growth, however, is not always easy or welcomed. Some may resist, clinging to old patterns of behavior, unwilling to admit that the real battle lies within themselves. They may continue projecting their insecurities onto you and others, deepening the karmic cycle instead of breaking free from it. For others, this situation offers a unique opportunity for self-awareness and transformation. Those willing to face their insecurities may come to realize that the rivalry was never truly about you. It was always about their unresolved issues, their need for validation, and their inability to accept themselves as they are. This realization may be painful, but it is also a necessary step toward personal growth. Whether they are ready or not, this karmic lesson will continue to play out until they learn to face their deepest fears and insecurities. In the midst of this storm, it is crucial that you remain strong in your own power. The jealousy, insecurities, and manipulations of your friends do not reflect your worth, they are mirrors of their own inner struggles. It is easy to get caught up in the drama and begin doubting yourself, but you must remember that their actions are not your responsibility. You cannot control how others perceive you or how they respond to your success and composure. What you can control is your reaction. Stand firm in who you are, and do not let their insecurities shake your confidence. Your worth does not depend on the opinions or actions of others. It is tempting to fall into the trap of seeking validation, especially when caught in the middle of rivalry. But true strength comes from within. You don't need to prove yourself to anyone or bend to the expectations of others. Your calm, confidence, and success are nothing to be ashamed of, they are the result of your own hard work and growth. Let go of the need for validation from those still wrestling with their insecurities. Instead, focus on nurturing the qualities that make you who you are. As you continue standing in your power, you may find that the competition around you begins to lose its hold. When you stop seeking validation from others and remain rooted in your own worth, the jealousy and manipulations of others seem less significant. By staying true to yourself, you set an example for others. You show them that it is possible to be confident and successful without tearing others down. In doing so, you not only protect your own peace but also create a path for others to discover their inner strength. The final message is simple yet powerful: you are not responsible for the insecurities of others. While it's easy to feel guilty or responsible for the tensions in your friendships, remember that you cannot control how others react to you. Their jealousy, their insecurities, and their manipulations are their issues, not yours. By recognizing this, you free yourself from the burden of trying to fix relationships poisoned by rivalry. Instead, focus on preserving your inner peace and authenticity, knowing that you are not responsible for how others handle their emotions. As you continue navigating these dynamics, don't be afraid to embrace your power fully. The qualities that spark jealousy and competition are the very things that make you unique and valuable. You do not need to dim your light to make others feel more comfortable. Instead, let your strength, confidence, and calm shine brightly, knowing you deserve success and recognition without engaging in the toxic behaviors that have damaged your friendships. By standing tall and living your truth, you inspire others to do the same. Finally, share your story. Let others know how you stayed grounded and confident in the face of jealousy, manipulation, and rivalry. Your journey of remaining steady while others wrestled with their insecurities can inspire those going through similar struggles. By sharing your truth, you not only empower yourself but also encourage others to stand in their own strength. Your story is one of resilience and power, and by embracing it fully, you give others permission to embrace their inner strength and rise above the insecurities that may be holding them back. There is a certain magic in this moment that often goes unnoticed, a quiet truth that speaks to our inner self. The world around us may be chaotic, full of distractions, obligations, and expectations, yet within this moment lies a stillness, a deep resonance that calls for our attention. When we allow ourselves to pause and be present, we can sense this subtle but powerful force that guides us. It is an invitation to trust the now and to appreciate where we stand at this very moment. The idea that we are exactly where we are meant to be can be comforting but also challenging. It asks us to let go of our need for control and to accept that the universe has a plan unfolding perfectly, even if it does not match our personal desires. We may have had different expectations of where we should be, but this moment, with all its imperfections, holds meaning. When we learn to fully accept it, we can find peace in knowing that we are not off track. It is natural to have doubts and to wonder if we have made the right decisions. Often, we question whether we have strayed too far from the life we imagined for ourselves. Yet these doubts are part of the journey and necessary for our growth. Every moment of uncertainty is an opportunity to reflect, recalibrate, and move forward with renewed clarity. Instead of resisting these feelings, accepting them can help us reconnect with our deeper truth and trust the process unfolding before us. Every choice, every turn in life, has brought us to where we stand today. Even the decisions that seemed insignificant or misguided were steps that contributed to our growth. Sometimes, only in hindsight do we realize how each of those moments, however small they appeared, served a purpose. Trusting the path means understanding that nothing is wasted and that everything happens for a reason, even if we cannot see it in the present. Life's setbacks and challenges can feel discouraging, especially when they divert us from our planned course. Yet these setbacks often serve a greater purpose that is not immediately obvious. The hardships we endure teach us resilience, patience, and the importance of letting go of expectations. What looks like a detour is often a necessary redirection leading us to opportunities and growth we never anticipated. It is easy to compare ourselves with others and feel as if we are falling behind when those around us seem to succeed. This tendency to compare can cloud our judgment and make us believe we have failed. But trusting the path means recognizing that each of us is walking a unique journey and that the success of others does not diminish our own progress. Life is not a competition, it is a personal evolution where the only true measure of success is our growth and understanding. We often live under the assumption that life follows a fixed timeline, that there is a particular sequence of events we must meet, from education to career to family. This illusion is reinforced by societal expectations, but it is just that, an illusion. Life is not a race with predetermined checkpoints. There is no single path to success or fulfillment, and trying to fit into this mold can create unnecessary stress and dissatisfaction. Each person has a unique journey shaped by individual experiences, choices, and the lessons they are meant to learn. While one person may reach their goals early in life, another may take a winding path full of unexpected detours. This does not mean one is more successful than the other. In fact, the variety of our experiences enriches our understanding of life and of ourselves. What works for one person does not have to work for another, and that is perfectly fine. Instead of measuring ourselves against a universal timeline, we should focus on our own path and appreciate the uniqueness of our journey. By releasing the need to meet societal expectations or deadlines, we can approach life with greater freedom. This allows us to embrace growth at our own pace and trust that we will reach our goals at the right time, when we are truly ready. Life rarely unfolds exactly as planned, and detours are inevitable. Yet these detours are not signs of failure. Rather, they are opportunities for growth and often bring us experiences we would never have chosen for ourselves but that are essential for our personal development. These unexpected turns force us to adapt, learn new skills, and gain new perspectives that ultimately serve us in the long run. Setbacks are often lessons in disguise, challenging us to rethink our approach, reshape our mindset, and build resilience. Though frustrating, they are necessary for our evolution. Without challenges, we would never be pushed out of our comfort zones or encouraged to tap deeper into our potential. By embracing these detours, we learn to see them not as obstacles but as essential steps on the journey toward becoming who we are meant to be. When we look back on our lives, we often see that the times of greatest growth did not come from periods of ease but from moments of challenge and uncertainty. It is these detours that shape us and help us develop a deeper understanding of ourselves and the world around us. In difficult times, we discover our strength, and as we overcome obstacles, we realize just how capable we truly are. Just as the earth moves through seasons, so do we. There are times when we are in full bloom, reaching our goals with ease and grace, and feeling that everything is falling into place. These are times of growth and abundance, when progress is visible and our efforts are rewarded. In such moments, it is easy to feel aligned and at peace, but they are only one part of life's cycle. There are also seasons when we feel stagnant, lost, or uncertain of our direction. These are the phases of self-reflection and stillness, much like winter, when trees shed their leaves and the ground rests. It is easy to see these phases as failures or setbacks, but they are just as important as the seasons of growth. These times allow us to gather strength, reflect on our experiences, and prepare for the next stage of our journey. Instead of resisting these quieter phases, we should embrace them for what they are, opportunities for deep inner growth. Just as the earth uses winter to restore its energy for spring, we too must respect the cycles of our lives. These periods of stillness are not wasted time but essential seasons of renewal that prepare us for the growth ahead. In today's fast-paced world, it is easy to fall into the trap of comparing ourselves to others. Especially on social media, it often seems as though everyone around us is achieving great things while we remain stagnant. Yet what we forget is that we are only seeing a curated version of other people's lives. We compare our behind the scenes with their highlights, which can create feelings of inadequacy and frustration. The feeling of falling behind or being left out is common, but it is based on the false belief that there is only one path to success. In reality, each person's journey is different, and there is no universal timeline for reaching our goals. The idea that we must achieve certain milestones by a certain age is a man-made social construct that does not reflect the complexity of individual growth. By recognizing that your path unfolds in its own time, you can release the pressure to keep up with others and focus instead on your own progress. Your worth is not measured by how quickly you achieve your goals but by the depth of your experiences and the lessons you learn along the way. When you embrace your own unique journey, you can appreciate where you are without feeling the need to compete with others. Growth often happens in ways that are not immediately visible. Like a seed developing beneath the soil, much of our personal growth takes place in the unseen parts of our lives. Those phases when we feel stagnant or unsure are actually moments of preparation for breakthroughs we cannot yet recognize. What feels like stillness is often a time when we are gathering the strength and wisdom needed for the next stage of our journey. The challenges we face, which feel like obstacles in the moment, are often exactly what ignite our transformation and lead us toward becoming the person we are meant to be. The timing of events in life can sometimes seem frustratingly unclear. We may wonder why things do not happen as quickly as we wish, or why our plans are delayed. Yet there is a greater timing, a rhythm of life, that we often do not recognize in the moment. The universe works on its own schedule, and even if we do not understand why certain detours or delays occur, they often prove necessary for our growth. Without these pauses and setbacks, we might not be ready to embrace the opportunities that await us in the future. To trust this divine timing, we must release our need to control every aspect of our lives. This does not mean being passive but rather learning to move with the flow of life instead of fighting against it. Trusting that the universe has a plan for us, a plan unfolding perfectly even if it does not align with our immediate desires, allows us to embrace the present moment. When we trust the process, we open ourselves to the possibility that life is always working in our favor, even when it does not seem so. When we rush through life, trying to force things to fit our schedule, we miss the beauty and the lessons hidden in the present. Too much effort can separate us from the moment and blind us to the opportunities right before us. There is a delicate balance between striving for our goals and honoring the natural flow of life. If we push too hard, we may succeed in moving forward, but we often lose the deeper connection with ourselves and our surroundings. Patience, however, does not mean being inactive, it is an active form of trust. It is the belief that the universe's timing always aligns with our highest good, even when it feels like things are not moving fast enough. When we learn to trust that everything happens at the right time, we free ourselves from the fear of controlling every outcome. These waiting periods are not wasted time, they are essential for our personal growth. They give us space to reflect, adjust our course, and prepare for what is to come. Trusting divine timing also means trusting yourself and the path you are walking. It requires faith that the universe is guiding you in the direction you need, even if you cannot fully see it in the moment. Every delay has a purpose, every setback carries a lesson, and every struggle prepares you for the opportunities ahead. When you stop resisting and begin trusting, you create space for life to bring you the relationships, experiences, and opportunities that are meant for you at exactly the right time. The people we encounter in life, whether for a brief moment or many years, play a meaningful role in our journey. Each person we meet shapes us in some way and helps form the person we are becoming. Relationships, whether fleeting or long-lasting, serve a purpose in our growth. Sometimes it is those who challenge us most who teach us the greatest lessons. At other times, it is the love and support of those close to us that allow us to thrive and grow. Every person we meet is part of the intricate web of our life experiences, and none of these encounters are accidental. Just as others influence our journey, we also play a role in the lives of those around us. Our words, actions, and even our presence create ripples that touch the lives of others in ways we may never fully realize. Your journey is not only about your personal growth, it is also about how you contribute to the growth of others. The encouragement, challenges, and wisdom you share help shape their paths just as they influence yours. When we reflect on the people who have entered our lives, we can see the deep interconnectedness of all our experiences. None of us walks our path alone, we are all linked, learning from one another and supporting each other along the way. The people who come into your life are there for a reason, just as you are in theirs for a reason. Recognizing this helps you appreciate the role you play in the greater story of human connection and growth. Every moment of life carries the potential for growth, transformation, and connection, if we are present enough to notice it. Too often we dwell on the past or are consumed by worries about the future, missing the opportunities that exist in the here and now. The present moment is where life truly unfolds. It is the only space where real change, genuine growth, and true connection can occur. When we are fully present, we become more aware of the subtle shifts around us and engage with life in a deeper and more meaningful way. Small, seemingly insignificant moments can have a profound impact on our lives. A chance meeting with a stranger, a fleeting moment of inspiration, or a challenge that forces us out of our comfort zone can alter our path in ways we never expected. These moments, though they may seem minor at the time, often become turning points that shape our future. When we are present, we recognize and value these moments as they happen instead of realizing their importance only in hindsight. Presence is also the key to deepening our relationships with others. When we are truly present with someone, we offer them our full attention, empathy, and understanding. This creates space for authentic connections, where both people can grow and learn from one another. By embracing the power of presence, we open ourselves to a richer, more joyful life where every moment carries the potential for growth and transformation. Life is not without challenges, and times of uncertainty are inevitable. Yet these difficult periods are just as vital to our journey as moments of success. Often, it is during struggles that we are tested, pushed to our limits, and forced to confront deeper truths about ourselves. These phases of uncertainty, though uncomfortable, are the moments that reveal our resilience, strength, and adaptability. Without challenges, we would not have the chance to grow. It is in the hardest times that we learn the most about who we truly are.